Hey everyone, Scamo from Two Man Crew here. What you've just seen is a very small preview of the only two FX modes in my builder mapping. The builder mapping is what I consider to be the most important mapping because although I will be bringing out a full version of my FX Jogs mapping with a ton of FX modes in it, I'm not really very experienced with FX usage in Tractor, and what I come up with is only the tip of the FX creative iceberg. There are so many possibilities to map so many different FX modes, and I'd really like people to take up mapping their own effects. In this video I'm going to show you the fundamentals of my FX Jogs mapping. For instance, like how to control the mapping, how to see which mode you're in with the indications. By the end of the video I hope you will know how to use and enjoy my S4 FX Jogs Xtreme mapping. So let's get going. As you can see in Tractor, we have a 4 effect unit or 4 bank setup. Effect units 1 and 3 are on the left and effect units 2 and 4 are on the right. With this configuration, effect units 1 and 3 are going to be used for deck A and C, or the left side of the S4, whereas effect units 2 and 4 are used for the decks B and D. As in the normal S4 default mapping, the knobs and the buttons on the S4 still control the effect units 1 and 2. So you can still manipulate the effects, extending the FX Jogs even further. You might have noticed me doing this with the Get Up vocal. These are the kind of things that make the FX Jogs so special. There is a huge window of creativity here. Now that you know the basic layout of the effects units to the S4 and how they work with the FX Jogs, now to turn on the FX Jogs is very simple. Press of the load button now. So as you can see, at the moment we don't have too much of an indication. You can see my voice is causing the light to go on and off. That's because the only way to make the LEDs work is to use the sound output of the S4. I'm going to go ahead and run the loop of the track that we've been playing the whole time now. And you can see that as it gets louder, the indication gets brighter. So if this the load button isn't working for you, the magic that causes this, or the FX Jogs all together with the S4, is a setting. It's called jog mode, and you can set it here to FX. When you install the mapping, basically this should already be on. So once you have the jog FX mode on, it's very simple to actually control which deck is going to be running the FX Jogs. Basically, before in an old mapping, it was always the gain control, the shift, and the gain control of deck C and D, or channel D, C and D. Now, and you'll see now I just moved it, the control of effect units 1 and 3 to deck C. Now that I'm going to turn the gain control knob with pressing shift, you'll see that the control will move back up to deck A. The same goes, and it doesn't matter which shift button you press. If you can do the left shift button and still control deck D, and so forth and so on. If there's no lights on, yeah, as it is now, that means you're in effects mode 0 or nothing. You won't get any effects, nothing will work. If you turn it to the right once, let me go ahead and turn up the sound so we get a bit more indication here. So now we're in mode 1, 2, and you'll notice now that we've gone to 2 lights, and that's because each light indicates a binary, or the decimal number of the binary number. So what we have here now is a binary 3. It's very easy to, you have to just be able to add together numbers, but this light indicates 1, decimal number 1. This indicates decimal number 2,
and this light indicates a decimal number 4. Yeah. So if we go one more up, now we're at mode 4. I came up with this idea because basically I needed to show 7 modes, or even 8 modes, with just 3 lights. And it hit me with my electronics background. Let's use the binary numbers, decimal form of binary numbers. So, and as you go further into this, you can see how they go on. So if we go to this mode, that is 1 plus 2 plus 4 is mode 7. And because we have so many modifiers free, or I freed up a lot of modifiers in version 5, we now have the opportunity to go to another level of another 7 modes. And that's indicated with the on-off button light. So once you're in the second level, or modes 8 through 14, you'll notice that the on button is on, and we can scroll up and down through. Now we're back into mode 7, that's 8, 9. You're doing some more addition again, so this is then 7, and then plus 2 is 9. Yeah. So we have 7 plus 7 is 14. We're in mode 14. Okay. So that's basically it. And the same thing goes for the left side. If we turn it on, actually, let's go back on. And also when you turn it on, you're going to be in mode 1 automatically. Yeah. So from there on, you can see once it's turned on, then our mapping or our effects are on. Because we have the load button being used to turn on and off the jogs. I mean, when we go off the jog, and we can then start scratching. Yeah, when we turn it back on, we're back in mode 1, but we're in the FX Jogs mode again. Because the load button is being used for this functionality, obviously if you're used to pressing the load button to load a track, that isn't going to work anymore. To get around this, and we'll show this on deck B for right now, what you can do is, we're now in FX Jogs mode, you can press shift and load. Yeah, so that's going to load the song for you. If you're also on the same song, this is something that is part of Tractor. If you're on the same song in your browser, when you press the load button or shift load in our mapping here, it's going to load that song at the same point with the same cue points and everything in the looping, so that basically you could start quickly doing crazy things. Now that you know how to work with the FX Jogs and also how the indicators work, now you just have to understand the 2 effect mode types. When you're into the effect mode, I'll go ahead and turn this up a little. We're in mode 1. When you're straight into the mode 1, you're in the one-shot mode. I call it the one-shot mode because you press the jog, you can play it. As soon as you let go of the jog, you're out of it. Yeah, so one-shot mode. The other type of mode, let's get out of the loop. The other type of mode is what I call the incremental mode. And let's go ahead and go forward a little. And that's done by pressing shift and then the jog. So, and basically all it's doing is automating the effects. So you can actually move the effects values to different values in increments. Other things that can happen here is that you can also free up your hands. Yeah, depending on the effects that I'll put in the full version, you can press shift and press the jog, and the effect will be on, and then your hands are free to do other things. Yeah. So that's the idea behind the incremental mode. There's a lot of possibilities also with the incremental mode to also bring in different mode effects in each increment. There's so many things you can do with this. It's crazy. So theoretically, we'd have 7 different increments with 14 different modes. That gives us, what is that, 128 different mode effects, theoretically. Obviously, you're not going to be doing that. For instance, on my first mode, the increment is something that you're going to use one right after the other. But theoretically, that's 4 or 5 different effect modes, each one. The next thing I'd like to show you is just a little goodie in the mapping. If you go into browse mode, the normal thing in tractors, you can scroll through your list of tracks. The goodie is, if you're in here and you press the jog, that's taking place of the load button. So you can scroll through it, press the jog, and you're going to load that song. As you can see, because we are a little bit messed up now, we're definitely here. We're scratching and also the jog effects are going on. This is definitely wrong. You can reset this if you have this problem. What you have to make sure is the load button's off. Same thing here. For the right side, if something's screwing up like now, for the right side, you press shift and the outer offset. And you can see that the mode went off. So now you're back to scratching. So everything's working right, and then you press load, you're back on again. That's it. I hope you enjoy the mapping. The full version's coming soon. And as always, peace and have fun.